relaxing after a hectic week, flicking through the papers, a kick about with my little man AC.
You gonna catch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are my Sunday pleasures. During my career, I've cooked thousands of Sunday lunches, and it's my favourite meal of the week to cook and eat. A delicious, extra special family treat made with love.
Pinch of salt, please, chef. Skills.
And attention to detail.
I'm Chef Tom Kerridge, and these are my Sunday lunches.
8 amazing menus to share with family and friends. And I'll take you step by step through cooking each dish in the right order. So it's all perfect when it comes to the table.
Yes!
Why don't you join me for Sunday lunch? I'm excited about this one. A classic springtime roast, slow cooked to perfection. And that can only mean one thing: lamb, studded with garlic and rosemary, slow cooked on meltingly soft potatoes, with cheesy broccoli and crunchy green veg. And for pud, silky smooth panna cottas, topped with blood orange segments and my favourite spring fruit, rhubarb. And getting the rhubarb in the oven is my first job of the day.
I love rhubarb, and this is a lovely way of making sure that your rhubarb has a beautiful flavour, colour and texture. Just chop your rhubarb up to pieces about that big, and then drop them into a tray. And then on top of that, I'm going to sprinkle golden caster sugar. Now on top of the rhubarb and sugar, I'm just going to pour some blood orange juice. You can see that gorgeous colour. I have the oven preheated to 100 degrees, okay? Not very hot at all. We're going to gently steam it, okay? Very slow for around about 20 to 25 minutes. Get that done. 20 to 25 minutes.
Now I can get on with the lamb.
I'm going to cook this lamb on a base of potatoes. Now here I have a mandolin. Now you've got to be very careful with these, they're super sharp. You could use a knife if you like, but I'm going to use it, but only because I've done it loads of times. And the great thing about these is it gets every slice equal. Now the trick to using a mandolin is using the weight of the front part of your hand and keeping your fingers in the back of your hand away from the blade, look. So as you push through, you've got no chance of your fingers getting sliced or the back of your hand. I just remember as a chef when I first started, I always remember this back part of my hand here always being sliced, because I just didn't practice enough.
I'm adding flavour to the potatoes with shallots, topped and tailed and sliced lengthways.
And the last thing to go through this potato base is some of this. And this is thyme. I'm just gonna strip the leaves from the stalks. Thyme is one of those beautiful herbs that goes really well with lamb. It's great tasting, big punchy flavour that keeps going. Softer herbs like parsley or coriander or sage, they're always good as fresh herbs right at the end to finish dishes with. But rosemary and thyme, those sort of herbs, you can use them in the cooking right at the beginning.
I've got a roasting tray lined with baking parchment, and I'm starting with a layer of potatoes.
You haven't got to be too neat, you can just get a nice layer in, and then some of the sliced shallots. And then just repeat the process.
And between each layer, add some thyme and seasoning.
This is actually a very classic French potato dish called pomme boulangère. And it's named after boulangeries, which are bakeries in France. The story has it that when they'd finished baking, that the people of the village would have potatoes lined like this with onion and thyme, would turn up to the bakery, and they would just put them into the oven. So it was cost-free cooking. You'd end up with this beautiful, slow-cooked, wonderful flavoured potato dish with whatever had been slow-cooked on the top. And in this case, it's going to be lamb.
Pomme boulangère features on my restaurant menus, and I love making it for the family too.
It's one of those dishes that takes quite a lot of prep to do, but once it's in, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Pretty much cooking itself. So get up early, get it on, and chill out and relax for the rest of the Sunday.
Five or six layers of potatoes is about right. Time to get the rhubarb out.
I'm just going to leave them to cool in that tray, OK?
Now turn the oven up to 150 degrees fan.
That's quite a nice low temperature that we're going to cook the lamb on. Now this is a shoulder of lamb, whole and on the bone. Now that's really important, OK? You want to cook it on the bone because it keeps its shape. It also means it has a much better flavour coming from those bones as you roast it.
And for extra flavour, I'm going to pierce the skin and stuff the holes with sprigs of rosemary and slices of garlic.
And once you've got all the holes filled with garlic and rosemary, put the lamb on top of the potatoes. Just going to give it a little sprinkle of salt and pepper on the top. And then here, I have some lamb stock. And just pour it into the potatoes. And then that is going to go into the oven for around about 4.5 hours. Now, it'll be cooked in 4, but you can leave it in there for 5. It's no stress.
Megalodon for the second biggest.
Your job is to cook Sunday lunch every Sunday.
No! No.
What's your job on a Sunday?
Playing.
Looks like I'll be making the panna cottas on my own.
Now, a panna cotta is basically a set cream. It's very simple, very easy to do. And you just infuse that cream with whatever flavour you want. Traditionally, it's just vanilla. We're going to do it with vanilla and blood oranges. And that's where we've poached that rhubarb. We're just going to sit it on the top once it's all set.
Into the saucepan goes double cream, caster sugar, and the seeds of 2 vanilla pods, plus the pods, and the grated zest of a couple of blood oranges.
Blood orange, it's great to use when it's in season. The flavour of it is fantastic. It's a little bit sweeter than normal oranges, and the colour of it is just stunning.
I'm heating the cream mixture gently while soaking 5 sheets of gelatin in a little cold water.
And they're just going to soak for 2 to 3 minutes just to soften.
Once the sugar is dissolved into the cream, stir in the softened gelatin till it melts and strain the mix onto plain Greek yoghurt.
Mix the yoghurt and that wonderful creamy syrupy mixture together. Pour your mix into the jug. And then get yourself some posh glasses and evenly pour the panna cotta mix into the glasses so they can set. So then these guys are going to go into the fridge, leave that gelatin to set up, and they'll probably take an hour.
While the panna cottas are setting, I'm going to segment the blood oranges. Carve the skin and the pith carefully away from the orange flesh. Then slip a sharp knife either side of each segment, and they'll come away easily, leaving the segment wall behind.
Beautiful, crisp, clean, full flavoured, and no pith on them. And then these segments can go in the fridge as well.
Rhubarb and blood oranges are spring treats. And my top tip, make the most of what's in the shops.
Buy seasonal veg. Sunday lunch is the perfect excuse to celebrate what's in season.
And when veg is as fresh and tender as this, it would be a crime to just boil it. I've got a better idea.
Got that, Dan?
Sorry, little technical, sorry.
It's the red button, just says REC on it. Nothing says springtime more than a beautiful salad showcasing amazing spring veg. Peas, a few little pea shoots, and a beautiful little dressing to go on the top.
Blanch the peas first by putting them in boiling water for 2 minutes, then into iced water to stop them cooking. Drain them on kitchen paper. I'm also blanching some broad beans and some beautiful British asparagus.
Now, we are the best asparagus growers in the whole wide world in this country, and it has that spring period, that short length of time when it comes out and it's just magical.
For the base of the salad, I've picked the leaves from a couple of little gem lettuces. And I've got some peppery spring radishes and their leaves, as well as the pea shoots. Then simply top the lot with the blanched veg.
Next thing I'm going to do is put a dressing together to go on the salad, but it won't go on there until the last thing. If it goes on too early, it'll wilt all the leaves and the veg. 1 teaspoon Dijon mustard, 1 teaspoon of whole grain mustard, good splash of red wine vinegar, mix that together, and then slowly add some olive oil to create a lovely, thick, rich dressing.
A little bit of seasoning, and the salad and dressing can sit in the fridge until lunchtime. While I try to solve 15 down.
Okay, lamb is in the oven, almost ready to go. In the fridge, I've got my salad and the dressing. I'm just going to reduce a little bit of the rhubarb cooking liquor and some of the juice from the blood oranges together to create a nice glaze to go on top of our set panna cottas. It smells incredible. It's like a citrus facial. Then once it's reduced, thickens slightly, it's just a deeper, richer, redder colour, much shinier. I'm just going to leave that to cool for a minute or two.
I'm topping the panna cottas with the soft roasted rhubarb and blood orange segments, making a wonderful contrast of colours.
Then just a little drizzle of this syrup. Just better taste one, make sure it's all right. Creamy, sweet, citrusy, and then with that lovely sour crunch of that oven-baked or poached rhubarb. That is our magical, fresh, creamy, rich set panna cotta. And those beautiful pink and vibrant colours coming from the blood orange and the rhubarb. That is so good. Everything you want in a springtime lunch.
My rhubarb and blood orange panna cottas are easy to make in advance. And while they're chilling, so can you.
It's time for the lamb to come out. This is a sight to behold. The smell is amazing. It looks incredible. Look at that. It's gone crispy and crunchy, look. All over the top. Where that lamb's kind of rendered and cooked really nice. You've got these lovely crunchy bits. All the flavour's gone into those potatoes. Get a close-up of those spuds. How amazing does that look? Whilst that's resting for around about half an hour, I'm going to make a fantastic broccoli gratin. That sounds very posh, doesn't it? However, it's basically broccoli baked with some lovely creamy creme fraiche on it, with some parmesan and some breadcrumbs, just to give it a lovely little crust on the top.
I've buttered this roasting tray and I'm lining it with breadcrumbs and long-stemmed broccoli that I've blanched for 2 minutes in boiling water. The dressing for the gratin is creme fraiche, flavoured with lemon zest, Dijon mustard, and a handful of parmesan. And for added richness, 2 eggs and double cream, then season.
And then the last 2 things are 2 big, strong, punchy flavours. Starting off with a clove of garlic. And then these guys, salted anchovies. Now I know you might be thinking, I don't like anchovies. But actually, with broccoli, it's a classic flavour combination. They're so savoury, they're so salty, they actually don't taste that fishy at all. Mixed into a dressing like this, they're absolutely stunning. Just give it a good mix round with a fork. Don't overbeat it. Just trying to create this kind of liquidy, luscious, creamy paste. Just make sure the eggs are completely incorporated, because as you bake it, that's what's going to thicken and give it a lovely, rich consistency. And then take this mix and pour it all over your broccoli.
This would also be a great midweek main course.
Use the rest of the breadcrumbs and the Parmesan cheese that you got left over. Sprinkle it all over the top. I'm going to stick that in the oven, 160 degrees, for around about 20 minutes. Just pick the oven cloth up that Jack, the cameraman, knocked on the floor. Thanks, mate. And in they go.
Now, we're having lamb, so we've got to have mint sauce. And homemade is quick, easy, and so much nicer than the jarred stuff. Make this at the last minute to keep the mint a vibrant green. Finely chop fresh mint. Mix just boiled hot water, caster sugar for sweetness, and red wine vinegar for acidity. And stir in the mint.
And just the movement releases those lovely smells and flavours from the mint. And I'm just going to put that into a bowl, ready to serve.
And the final touch, dress the salad.
I'm just going to give it a little drizzle of the dressing that we made, with the mustards, the red wine vinegar and the oil, and you can see it's almost like a mayonnaise. Just kind of drizzle it on and allow it to fall into the gaps and the cracks in between the peas and the asparagus and the broad beans. How lush is this salad? Crispy, crunchy, fresh. This mustard gives it a really nice kind of pungency, a little bit of heat, and all of this will cut through the richness and the slow-cooked intensity of that tray of delight in front of me.
For lunch today, we've got slow roast lamb on boulangère potatoes. The lamb's simply flavoured with garlic and rosemary, but it's mouth-watering, while the juices from the joint have created melting potatoes with a gorgeous crispy top.
That, for me, is the ultimate roast.
And we've got cheesy broccoli gratin with creme fraiche and anchovies, topped with parmesan, and a crunchy spring salad of the freshest seasonal vegetables with a thick mustard dressing.
That is the perfect way to serve a Sunday lunch in the spring. Clean, fresh, light, rich, delicious lamb. Springtime on a Sunday, it's never looked so good.
So what would be my favourite Sunday lunch? I love roast chicken, I love roast beef, I love roast pork, I love roast lamb. It doesn't really matter. But I also love things that are slow cooked, flavoursome, really, really simple, just slightly different. But it does fill the house with wonderful smells and flavours.